look at that. Oh. Yes! Yes! I told them that the ground moves and they've got to be aware of that because it is a weird sensation. I was equal parts excited but also crying with hysteria inside when I first did it. Look at this ice. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just not taking a risk. That's just slick. Single track craziness, and it just is mental. I don't remember it being like this. Hello you absolute legends, and thank you for joining me and 11 other fabulous souls on New Year's Day, where we took a ride up to the Gap, 2,500 feet of elevation. All the details will be shared in Kamoot and Strava, including the ride we took and the ride that we had planned. Of course, I share as much information, including the fact that this video is time-stamped, in the description, and of course the what 3 words for parking. Now I wanted to take a moment here to stop off at this parking location because this is a local village hall that's got everything you could even dream of. It's got toilets, showers, it's got a bike wash and a bike stand and tools, all for a small donation to a lovely little village like this, supporting the community, which I think is incredible. Another amazing thing as we set out from the car park here is just on the left hand side there's a little village cafe / shop. Now I've stopped here many a time after a ride for a sandwich and some refreshments, but apparently they do some fantastic breakfasts. Again, isn't it brilliant the MTB community can support small and local businesses like this? I absolutely love it. Now, of course, another British thing here. We're going along the canal before we start our climb, and traditional British canal with a swan. Of course, you can see the wings going up there. It's not very happy. I'm taking it very delicately. There's me being all polite and you all ride past it. Oh my God. Well, you can see my friends had a little bit less caution to the wind being thrown, as it were. Now, as we go along this historical location here, I am riding through history. You can see it on the trails there. You can obviously see this sign coming up here, and that's actually the mark of the 80th anniversary to the Young Farmers Woodland, which I put in my previous video. I've done a bit more digging though, and that's the name there on the screen. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to upset the beautiful Welsh language. You can see that I'm riding over these tracks here that were in operation from 1815 to 1865, transporting limestone, I believe, for the local agriculture and coal for the ironworks. So I'm genuinely riding through history. And it absolutely humbles me. I like to look at the glass half full, and I always try to appreciate the beautiful surroundings that I've got with me. This additional part of the trail is new to this ride here. You can see the devastation again to the trees. We're following that tramway system, and the reason we're doing that is I think it's the path of least resistance, something I found on a recent ride. Now I will include in Strava and Kamoot the ride that we took that day, and of course the intended ride. There is a certain section you'll see that we sacked off. There's some people going through. Tony, there's Nathan, who joined us for the first time, Dan, Darren was earlier, that's Joe, we've got the lovely Steve followed by Pete coming up, and the lovely couple that is Mark and Vicky, lovely people who looked after Tony when he had his recent whoopsie-daisy at the Forest of Dean. And of course that's Darren, but we also call him Dangerous Brian, I call him Dangerous Dave. Bit of EMTB to get up this one. Let's see how we get on. Oh, and he slips the back tyre, but he manages to do it. So as we're following that original route, I think it is the path of least resistance, much better for those on an MTB. Normally we would have come for the left, as you see there, which is a slightly gradual climb, but I think more fierce. And here we are, absolutely smiling our backsides off on New Year's Day. Couldn't be happier. What a fantastic group of people. You can already see the elevation that we're at now. And all the sheepy weepy in the fields, and the different cattle and the like. And we will shortly, as we continue to go up, get what is the traditional epic shot of the bikes up there and the lake in the background. But this is the bit that gets a bit dirty. Dirty, without a shadow of a doubt. Dirtiness. Oh. But you can see the remnants of an old road right here as well, actually, can't you? I don't think this one is Roman though, is it? Unless it is and someone wanted to tell me. But there are Roman roads around here, and when you think about the fact that the Romans left the UK in what, 308 AD, And the Roman baths in Bath were still used and functional until the 1970s. How about that? I haven't been on a ride in Wales yet where I haven't been humbled, stunned, and magnificently impressed. Oh. It's just, oh, no, just no. Oh, dabbing, dirtiness everywhere. Oh, I say. Now we're just coming up to that iconic photo shoot, which anyone who's ever done the Gap, you will have classically put your bikes down and taken a photograph with the reservoir in the background. And I believe, I could be mistaken, it's the Talybont Reservoir and Nature Reserve just in the background there. And this is where everyone takes those classic photos. I've got myself up here getting in front of the camera, and then of course my lovely friend and the wonderful Darren who created Church of Dirt. Here we are together in front of that reservoir having an awesome time. Just a bit lush up here, rustic Welsh lushness. We've just come through the gate. Look at that. Wales never fails. We have our Nemesis 2, Jason 1. Here, let's speed this up to the climb, and we might even speed it through the climb. I'm in Tour Plus in preparation. Whoa! Tokyo drift on the back end already. I'm not joking. It is slick, like icy slick. Right, let's go into EMTB. Oh, naughtiness, naughty power push. Right, can we do this? Can we do this? I really am not that confident about it, if I'm being honest. Yes! Yes!
You good?
Epic!
Oh.
That's the good thing about this backpack as well. Not only have I got body armour on, I got a cushion.
Yeah. It saves
Nemesis 3, Jason 1. Look at them all showing me how it's done. You got this, buddy. You got it, you got it, you got it. You got it, mate. Come on, Tone, you got it. You got it, mate. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, no. Well, this 100% is staying in the edit because this is the reality of me being an absolute plonker. Take two. Oh. Well, Tone, for me that's 3 to the Nemesis and 1 to you and me.
Yeah, that's like me. That's 4th time now, but then we get it one day.
We'll have you. We'll have you. Oh, after that rather disastrous attempt, and it was disastrous, not tust. Oh, you are such a plonker. This bit here is quite lush. We come out onto rather an open bit, and then we've got the descendy bit. And yes, I did put my foot down. That's called a bit of dabbing. And look at this. Oh wow. I mean, how can you not? Oh, horses! How can you not love this? Well, what I will say is that it's not just mud that we're dealing with today. You haven't seen me, well, you've just seen me fall over, which is a classic Jason moment. But you can see the ice, so we are going through not just what would be mud, but icy mud, and it's this is a whole new experience for me. Let's say every day with MTB is a school day, isn't it? And I am learning rugged Welsh landscape 101 icy mud. But what a fantastic place to learn. And oh no, are you serious? Horsey horses as well here. Oh, 2026 is already looking pretty gosh darned epic, isn't it? Hey, I mean, Wales, sheep, horsey horses. Oh, look at you little sweethearts. Hello. Aren't you beautiful? Oh, awesome stuff. Wow. Okay, so these lovely people here have decided they're going to go and crack on. I said, well, okay, and I'll just follow them behind, slow and gentle, nothing mental. Just, I told them that the ground moves and they've got to be aware of that, because it is a weird sensation. I was equal parts excited but also crying with hysteria inside when I first did it. So it's just a really unique experience riding down terrain like this, where you almost have to trust that the bike wants to go forward and let it do that, because it's just almost unnerving to a certain extent. Right, let's see if I can swing round and capture everyone coming down. Yes. And I do try and capture people as much as I can, because it is much about the community and all of you. That was the lovely Darren, followed by Pete, following up here closely by the lovely Mark, who's going to have a bit of a mechanical later. There's his wife Vicky, followed by Joe and Dangerous Brian. And I see something that I think is a little bit naughty. I can only hope it's fallen out of a bin and no one's dropped it on the floor on purpose. Water feature appreciation moment. Water feature. Oh, and they're holding it. Okay, for me, how cool is that? Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Can one of you throw this? Some dirty minger has thrown trash on the floor. Can you possibly put that in my front compartment, mate, and I'll just take it back with me? Thank you. If you guys want to give me a 45-second head start, I'm going to stop halfway down. You can't go wrong with this. Same again. Just keep going until you come to a little river creek and there's a slate climb going up. Yeah. And then give me a little heads up, because I obviously, like I say, I just want to try and capture you lot if I can, if that's all right. 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 Just. Right. I'm just coming down this next section. I'm going to steal some stuff off of Dazza, because I want to capture everyone coming down this. So I'm just going to stand down here, right here, and try and capture everyone coming down, looking awesome. Because as you know, my diary entries aren't really about me, are they? It's about the community. And I really do like to be able to capture people. This is lovely Mark coming down, followed by his lovely wife, those lovely couples who looked after Tony Winard, whoops-a-daisy, followed closely by Tony himself. And this is Stan. I think it's the first ride he's been on with us. Nathan on the outside, Craig on the inside being a crazy man, and there's the lovely Pete. Now, I think that was Nathan's first ride. That's Dazza. And Steve I met for the first time today. Following on here from Joe, who stayed overnight in a camper, followed by Dangerous Brian. Now, his name's Darren, but obviously that's what we call him because there are too many Darrens in the group. And he's always acting as a sweeper, making sure he's the last one and making sure everyone's okay. He's a really, really nice guy. And this is what you need in these bigger groups. You do need somebody to be at the back and to be the sweeper and to take care of everyone. Now, as I'm getting ready to go down this next section here, I haven't managed to capture any footage from Darren at the moment. I was a bit late and we are a few weeks after the ride. But something I noticed going down this trail here, and I was talking about on camera and that you'll hear me talk about later, is just how much this ground moves. It reminds me of Merthyr Rocks, but times 4. The entire ground moves, and the amount of calculations you've got to do to ensure that your front wheel rides as smoothly and avoids all obstacles. Even the slightest hit on some form of a rock could send you over the bars. It just blows my mind how many calculations we make. And here's that little lake, that little river, or the little slate climb that I talked about earlier, before we then carry on the next descent, my friends. This is our next little section. Little descendy wendy bit of lushness, rustic Welsh lushness. Oh, proper chunky monkey stuff here, folks. Oh, I say. Oh, front tyre slipped. There is no right line on this one. You just can't imagine, or you can, the amount of calculations you're doing going down there to try and avoid even the loosest bit of rock is mental. I'm sorry, I know you all know this, but I'm just saying this out loud. The level of concentration is just, oh, epic rudeness. Trees down. Holy crikey. Wow. But yeah, I know it sounds silly, but you're just gauged and looking ahead all the time, aren't you? And you see, it's just, I almost find it impressive and fascinating to think back of all the calculations we're making as we're going down these trails. It's just insane. See, that was straight through ice, icy puddles of iciness. I got a wet bum, I forgot my waterproof trousers. Oh, sad emoji face. And yet more trees down. Holy crikey. Wow. I remember the last time I was here, just after the storms we'd had earlier this year, or last year in 2025 now. The amount of devastation from the storms that knocked down all the trees, it was just quite jaw-dropping and heartbreaking to see. Mother Nature does not mess about, my friends. Now we've got a camping place just here, and I'll try and figure out where that is, because I know we are actually going down towards the reservoir to take photographs before coming back up on ourselves. So I will, as I like to put information in that you might like, find out where this little campsite is, because they've got pods and everything there. Cart and sheep. Well, you're not in Wales unless you've got sheep on the road, have you, eh? It is not Wales if there's not sheep. So we cut down here through all of this. Oh look, the sheep waiting for us. Hello sheepy weepy. Oh sheepy weepy. We're going to go down and then come back up. You'll see the cut that we're going to do in a minute. It's just obviously everyone wants to take, well, I want to take a photograph at the reservoir, okay? It's me. I would like to take photographs at the reservoir because it would be rude not to, but we're going to come back up through this bridge, and we cut up through a gate here. And it's a bit of a fierce climb. See if I can manage this one and a hiker bike, but it is worth it, because then what you do is you get your photos here, and then you get a higher elevation up over there, which you'll see in a little bit. And a water feature sensory overload. So according to Google, we are actually in between the two reservoirs, or the reservoir now, and I've got the name on the screen. I'm absolutely not going to say it. As you know, I love the Welsh people and the language too much to ruin it. So there it is on the screen. You can pronounce it how you like, and only the Welsh will know how to do it properly, my friends.
So we're going up in the clouds, aren't we, over there?
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. So yeah. This might be another magical one. We're effectively, in a minute, going to go back up around here after we've taken... Awesome.
What are you doing? What was that?
It's the Garmin. We're going effectively up into the clouds. So to visually show you, we've come down there, down to the lake, that's the bridge, take the photos, and then we're up over here, bit of a hiker bike to get to that higher elevation, just so you got that visual representation as well as following it on Kamoot and Strava. And I know it's a bit of a fierce climb, and I have seen people do it on an MTB as well, but it is worth it to remove all of that tarmac stroke asphalt. We do have to do a little bit of a hiker bike, but I think it's worth it to get that higher elevation and a much nicer view riding along in the forest. And there they all go, these wonderful people on this group ride there, looking magnificent as we're the stragglers here, making sure everyone's together before we carry on. So for that little climb that you've just seen, we are missing all of the car park out, which we did in previous runs before, and now we're at this elevation. You're going to get a real gorgeous kickback to the reservoirs in a little bit. And of course, in the summertime, you'll excuse the freezing rain, in the summertime you can actually see the old-fashioned steam train, which is just magnificent. I'll have to see if I can dig a photo out from earlier this year when we saw it. There's the old train tracks down there. Proper little, oh wow, yeah, I mean, I think freezing rain on New Year's Day. Let's get some. And this is that view I promised you on the back side of the lake as well. So instead of going all the way around the road at a much lower elevation, missing all of this beautiful scenery out, absolutely gorgeous. That's the old train station there. Again, I'll do some research on it and put that information in, but proper old steam train going and doing rides. It's just beautiful to see. Now, of course, I'm just saying that most of this is an incredibly simple loop, and you can follow it on Kamoot and Strava, but I'm visually showing you there are some deviations here. As we came off of that single track now, we're going to push forward and then we're going to dogleg to the right. And we're effectively taking out as much road as we possibly can, giving us as much fire road and as much forest as possible, which I think we can all agree is much better. After following that single track fire road, we then take a left down here through this gate and carry on along. And then, of course, everyone's going to be waiting for us to carry on up to the next section. Now, I'm also going to go ahead and say that this is a fantastic loop, one that we actually did follow, and I'm sharing the ride we actually did, but also the one that we intended to do. I'm also sharing here that along that ridgeline there, you see a card in the top right now for Professor EMTB's video. He did a fantastic one where he rode that entire ridgeline. It's a brilliant video, and he's actually riding down some of those Roman roads. Of course, we've got Dangerous Brian here being the sweeper, making sure that even myself and Tony are okay before we carry on. Of course, the next deviation that we did is because it was icy and it was very cold, we didn't go down traditionally that route there, which is the start of the traditional climb. It's got a lovely little gully going down, but obviously with a gully going up and with the icing conditions, I didn't feel that was safe. And for our next deviation now, we're going to go to the right here following this before we get to our climb, our main climb, getting towards the summit. This is where we usually stop and recuperate, grab a bite to eat. I'm about to head up now, but I can notice that Mark has got a bit of a mechanical. Thankfully, he gets the mechanical sorted and we can start hitting the trails, even though we're quite a way behind the rest of the fabulous people. So the bit that I said we're skipping is this lovely gully that's down here, but it's a heck of a climb out and under the slick conditions. So we've just come out here, and as I say now, it's a very, very steady climb right up to the top. My fingers, it's just unbelievable. And that's the reservoir down there, which I put in before, the old reservoir that's no longer in use. That's the reservoir, the old reservoir there that I'll have on the screen now for you. If this is your first time watching this. And onwards and upwards on this very rustic ride of awesomeness on New Year's Day. Mark and I are nearly at the summit now, and this is where the hilarity is going to ensue. I can't feel my fingers, my lips are frozen, but what a fantastic day. Now, I'm not going to say the names of these hills here or the mountains. That's the one on the left, and again, I love the Welsh language too much, and that's the one to the right. That's the one with the diving board. And this is where now the hilarity, my friends, is going to ensue as we start to go down and encounter ice and rather unique conditions. Wow, that wind, that is just mental. I'm not trying to go fast down here. Genuinely can't feel my hands very well. Look at this ice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on a minute. That is...
It's a bit spicy, isn't it?
Yeah. That's right. That is pure ice. Wow. Wow. You can see the water moving down through it. I'm just not taking a risk. That's just slick. Seriously slick. I'll get down eventually, but this is the reality, isn't it? I did tell you it was nippy. This is wow. I mean, that is just incredible. Can you see that water? This just oh my flipping holy clean flipping underwear. The epic shot of coming down here and looking like a hero is not happening. It just... Craig's going at it. As we approach the iconic opportunity to take a photograph, I think I will. Suits you, sir. Oh, suits you. What a fantastic way to start 2026. Now, Craig is already hurtling down the trails. I've obviously taken this lovely photograph here, and we're going to start gingerly making our way down the trails now, because this is completely different conditions than I'm used to before. Riding down this before in wet conditions or even dry conditions is one thing, but riding down through this icy conditions is something completely unique. Right there. Let's make our way down, shall we? Not in record time, but just safely. Words fail me as to how chunky this is and slick. Rocky Balboa. Oh my gosh. Got Steve in front taking a sensible pace. We're just going around me like this. Oh, I know this isn't classically, you know, super duper fast or anything like that, but this is me being about as sensible as I can be. I'm sure many of you probably just, whoa, bomb down here. But this is my first time riding down through ice, if I'm being honest. Well, I just can safely say this is a unique experience. Oh, yes. Happy New Year. If the screen is messed up, I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Wow. Just look back. Everyone coming down. Now, I just stopped to make sure everyone else was coming down. I knew that Dangerous Brian, his real name Darren actually, would be at the back making sure he was the last person down, being the sweeper and taking care of everyone. I was so humbled to be riding in the country that I was born in Wales on New Year's Day, January 2026. Yeah. Took a moment to have a photograph with the lovely Darren. We had a cheeky smile because we do appreciate the scenery and we do take lots of photos before we carried on down the trails, my friends. It is nice to be humbled. Now, feeling a bit better. That's one of the most unique rides I've been on, riding through ice like that. That's just both, oh wow, no traction. Oh, the bike's turned off. No traction whatsoever. Wow. This water feature. See, oh my gosh, I'm concentrating so hard. I'm even missing out these water features of lushness. Wow. What about that for a view? Hey, what about that for a view? Right then, onwards and upwards. We were just laughing because you haven't just got the water, you got the sound of the ice breaking beneath you as well, which is as you may have heard, something I've never experienced before. Every day is a school day in mountain biking, isn't it? Hey? Oh my gosh! Wow! Yeah, you can hear guys. Right, a moment to stop and take photos. Daz has got a bit of a bad back at the minute, and now we are the last two people as the sweepers. So it's good to know that we are the last two, and then we can just bimble on down now. As we go around this corner, it will start to descend and you will pick up speed, but that has to be the most beautiful, stunning, rustic and incredible experience of my life. That sheet of ice and the water running down through it beneath, that was just magical. And this is where we, just round this corner, we'll start to descend, and it gets a bit fun through here. Well, I say that, you know, in the summertime you can absolutely smash this like a humdinger, but obviously in these conditions it's a wee bit different, isn't it? You know, erring on the side of caution and how slicky wicky it is. Yeah, you can see the gradual speed is coming in now. There we go, start to descend. That magical view in the backdrop, and it'll start to get chunky monkey in a minute. Got Daz right in front of me. It's just awesome. Give a bit of space there. I mean, what a way to spend New Year's Day in Wales, in freezing rain, riding on icy water, with a wet bum, numb fingers. Wouldn't have it any other way. Water feature. These group rides are just something else. Several people have said that they've joined the group because of the events, and I said how much 2026 has changed for the group, where now you haven't just got one ride every few weeks, you've actually got multiple rides on one weekend, from a cross-country bimble, a ride in the countryside, blue trails, red trails, people riding really gnarly off-piste and super technical stuff. It's just, you know, this is what's so fantastic about these Facebook groups. You know, you can have these events, you can meet like-minded people. You know, we often get people come on the group rides with us that are absolute shredders, but they still choose to come on the rides because it's the social aspect to it as well. You have a social act to it. I'm just keeping an eye on Dazza. We're not trying to go fast, but obviously he's got a bad back, and if he pulls something, I do not want to be having to come back up. But it is honestly slicky slick. Oh yeah. Got people walking down here. Oh wow. Stick to the right. Grassy lushness. Grassy lushness. This is just awesome sauce. You alright, Steve?
Yeah.
Cool. Steve being an absolute gentleman there waiting for us. I believe that's Vicky in front on her very fancy, by the way, Amflow of awesomeness. Mark and Vicky were the ones that helped Tony out when he had that whoopsie-daisy at the Forest of Dean. Such wonderful, wonderful, caring people, even offering to drive him to the hospital. That's the sort of community that we belong to, my friends. Oh, look at all these lovely people waiting for us. Ah, yes. Epic. Right, so people have got some battery anxiety. In these colder conditions, you really do tend to use a lot more battery, is what I'm seeing. Well, that's what we were all discussing anyway. So I'm not sure what to do here. Part of me wants to carry on down the single track that I've never showed you before. The other part of me thinks about just taking the road back, just to err on the side of caution, and actually do this ride again in the summer. and then do all the single track then. But I'll make a decision when we get down to the gate down here. This will just be the gap, but in icier and slicker conditions. Much slower ride as well, actually, if I'm being honest, but that's fine. You know, all the Kamoot and Strava day tours will be in there for you. And this is the gate where we cut right through some rather unique single track. Now this gate still haunts me. I'm going to admit to having high functioning anxiety, and you always want to make everyone happy, so I take a moment before making the decision to talk to the sheepy weepy before we carry on down through this single track. I rode it earlier in 2025 and it was fun, flowy, and it was just 1 or 2 obstacles, but the most of it was a lot of fun. I didn't realise how much washout had occurred and how much of an absolute nightmare decision this was, my friends. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Single track craziness, and it is mental. Through here, you know what I mean? Just really, I don't remember it being this bad. Down through here. Sorry, this is shocking behaviour. I don't remember it being like this. I might get chewed out when we get to the bottom. Sorry everyone. I genuinely don't remember it being this gnarly. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now I feel so terribly bad. As I said, somebody that's got high functioning anxiety, you're always concerned about making everyone happy. I was only fortunate that Tony had ridden that exact same trail with me and that exact same route with the Gap crew earlier in 2025, and there was only one feature that we actually walked our bikes over. The rest of it was quite flowy and quite fun. I genuinely didn't realise how much weather conditions had affected that single track, washing out all of the dirt and the cobbles and everything that held it together, making it flowy and turning it into what can only be considered the biggest, chunkiest monkey I've ever gone down, rattling my teeth and bones to the core. I apologise to everyone, but Tony did back me up and said it was a lot more fun earlier in 2025. I felt terribly guilty, and that's why I'd say moving forward, don't go down that gate, don't go down that single track, just stick to the road, and Kamoot will get you to rejoin the rest of the trail, my friends. Right. Carry on down here now. I don't think any of us were impressed with that. That was shocking. Shocking. And then we go down here to the left, this pothole, and then left hand turn Clyde, and then a little bit more, shall we say, pleasant single track. Can I say that? Probably not. Just concentration. It's just insane. And I've left my glasses back there. Oh well. Oh my. Not going back for them. This has all just been washed out so much. This is completely different from when we rode it earlier this year. As I said, I would never taken everyone down that, had that been the case. Give Steve a bit of room. It's just, I mean, really, just really. Did you? What an experience. I have no words. What an absolutely spectacular time. Now we're heading down the road for the rest of the way here. We are missing off that last bit of single track again. I'm going to put in the exact ride that we did and the ride that we intended. What I would suggest, like any Kamoot or Strava ride, make it your own. When you get to that gate, don't do the single track unless you want a really chunky adventure. Instead, take the road, you'll come to a T-junction, and Strava and Kamoot will kick you back onto the rest of the trail, which we're going to do in the summer, which is beautiful single track, back to this canal. Now we're following this canal now, we're making our way back to the cars, and what a fantastic and spectacular time I've had. I'm humbled and blown away if you've stayed with me to the end of this video. I certainly hope the information I've shared, including the Talybont Bike Hub, the what 3 words for parking, the actual route that we took, including my thanks to Nick for actually showing me the road less travelled, as it were, taking us off of the tarmac, off of the roads, and onto more single track fire roads and forests, which makes it much more delightful. Again, the ride will be coming out again in 2026 when I'm going to do a summer ride showing you all of the trail again, but this time with some more caveats and some additional single track towards the canal. I certainly hope this video has been informative. I hope it's been fun. I hope my chemical imbalance has come out a little bit in this video and that you've been entertained a little bit. And I would also like to thank you for the wonderful words of wisdom you've given me, the encouragement you've shared over 2025 and for the last 3 years since I started this channel and since I started mountain biking. My first official ride January 2023, and then I had my first group ride in April 2023, which is where I feel my true journey began. Nearly approaching 3 years now, with so much yet to learn and so much yet to explore. It's been my honour to be part of this Church of Dirt group, where I feel in 2025 I've explored more than I ever thought possible, and it's been my best year in mountain biking. I can only hope that you get the chance to join a group ride or events or a Facebook group or any kind of social group where you can meet like-minded people, give a chance to explore trails, bond with like-minded souls, clear your mind and recharge your own soul, as I have done, and how it helps me with my mental health. My friends, it's been an absolute pleasure to ride with you today. My name is Jason, and until we ride again, I wish you now and always many, many happy trails.